Let's see, the sheriff is sitting here. Yeah, somebody take that.
So I'll go this way, if you want to.
And then we're leaving presentation to get to the airport.
What you got here first? Any check that?
He did. I made it through with the poultry, but it was close, so. Loud, and it's really playing, they couldn't find it. They just kept going up.
Connie.
All right. Let's call the Franklin County Commission Board to order this Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. Call the roll.
Judge Brady?
Here.
Commissioner Weir?
Here.
Commissioner Eager?
Here.
Commissioner Leisman?
Here.
Commissioner Brennan?
Here. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation. Pastor Boatwright.
Oh Lord, we thank you as we come to you today for your grace, because it is more than sufficient for all our needs. We thank you, God, that we're honored to be able to serve not only you, but to serve those under us. And we thank you for that honor. We need your help, oh God, in doing that service. We know you will not fail us, nor forsake us, nor never leave us. We thank you, God, that you supply all our needs according to your riches and glory through Christ Jesus. Thank you, God, that we can claim your promises. God, I just want to say this today. I feel like the best is yet to come. And we claim that. Thank you for good health, for wisdom, for guidance in this proceedings today. For all who are here, bless them, God, be with them. Bless their families also. In Jesus' name I pray, all together say, Amen. Thank you again, Judge, for the honor to do this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I blank out almost every time. Every time I say a street name, that's you and your family, like, right?
And German.
That's what I said. Well, I'll get into my definition. All right, we have public comment today. Deanna Welch.
I'm Dan Welch, Lakeland County. I have two agenda item 26, the proposed items, budget items that the public has no way of knowing what's coming. The public hearing is the last commissioners' board meeting. We couldn't talk about it then because we didn't know about it then. We can't talk about it now because we don't know about it now. But if I find that you previously talked about it and it's on one of those recordings, then I will know that you failed to give the public notice by August 1st, as required by the state.
Mr. Kenneth, speak to you.
Good morning. Judge Gray, on August 23rd, you provided an explanation of the supplemental salaries for officials that were not published in the newspaper. Your explanation is inadequate. You indicated it is in the proposed budget for the world to see. However, the statutes require that you publish the salaries in the newspaper. Later in the meeting, you indicated that longevity pay would be included in the final budget to be voted on today. If you include the longevity pay in the budget today, you will not have advised the public of the amount of those raises in the newspaper, and you didn't even show those raises in the proposed budget for the world to see. I'm also pretty certain that Commissioner Beasley will make a motion today to give you a salary increase that was not published in the newspaper. I just don't understand why deception regarding the salaries of elected officials in the budget preparation process has become a routine each year. Are you afraid the public that is suffering from inflation might think that a 15% raise on top of the hidden money would be excessive? I have additional concerns with your spending priorities. It seems like you are eager to spend all the significant revenue increases that you will reap based on the increased property appraisals. Yet I cannot find anywhere in the proposed budget where you plan to address significant structural problems with this ordinance. You have chosen to build new buildings rather than maintain this historical structure. You've also continued to fund increased staffing. We all know the sheriff has made a plea for funding to support his hiring effort, but he has indicated it takes 6 months to train an officer. Can he train all these new officers at the same time, or perhaps should you stagger the hiring and training, thus saving some of the funds? Regarding that significant revenue increase, you previously indicated that you intended to raise the homestead exemption, which would allow taxpayers to keep some of their money during times of inflation. Now it seems that your spending spree takes priority over the needs of the public because there's no change shown for the exemptions. Here's a copy of my comments for the public record.
Commissioners, item 1 on the agenda is considered your consideration of the minutes of the prior meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to dispense with reading of the minutes and accept them as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Granberg, discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item 2.
I make a motion to approve the estimated September 2022 payroll in the amount of $512,319.28.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, the official reports, and they are all in.
I move to approval of the official reports as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gleason. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4. Line item transfers.
Make a motion to approve the line item transfers as presented. Second.
Commissioner Weir makes the motion, Commissioner Granberg second. I see 3. Yes, sir.
Only have 2 years to do. Yes, sir. This is the
I said 4.
Oh, 4,
If you don't have 4, pass it around. So,
okay.
okay, we're back up in there.
So they were in additional.
Who made the motion?
I did, and I read the additional ones. I'm good with it.
So your motion is for all 4,
That's correct.
and the second was Commissioner Luis.
Okay.
Kramer. All right. If we had a chance to review
Yes, sir.
it, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 5, outstanding bills.
Make a motion to approve the outstanding bills in the amount of $513,398.01.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 6, Mr. Shelhays has gathered, let's see, it's here, gathered all of the bids, tabulated, scored them, reviewed them, worked them, and is prepared to, I think, make a recommendation.
Absolutely. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, and Congress. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. This was probably a little bit more of a undertaking with regard to really doing some better due diligence of our bidders on this project. I will say the bids range from a low bid to a high bid of nearly $800,000 in difference. So understanding the climate that we're currently in with regard to just materials availability, busyness, it was a wide range. So I just started with the process of looking at, high and low bids and determining where all of the factors were in the project. One of the things that was really more enlightening is the middle 3 bidders were within about 3% of each other in their bids. Those bidders, to me, reflect more of a marketplace value of what the project should be. So that's where I started doing the due diligence. We also have a scoring process within our specifications of how all bidders were to be viewed and ranked, not only by their bid, but also by performance, proximity, by their reputation, similar sized projects, references. I spent about 2.5 weeks really digging more deeply into all of the bidders that we had. One of the things that really kind of rose to the top were some of the general contractors took liberties with regard to the project and did not necessarily follow the plans or specifications. So I believe y'all have a copy of the bid tabulation as well as the scoring criteria that was used in the project.
Is that the last column on the right?
Yes, sir. The selection criteria is in the very last column. The second to the last column is the ranking by price. As you can see, those are in order of 1 through 5. Number 2 bidder, Kendall Casper, came in, has the best scoring criteria. As we got into the project and the evaluation process, we started looking at where were some of the areas that we were different with what we had originally budgeted. So going back to June of last year, we budgeted this project at about $1.2 million. As we understand,
That was how long ago?
June of 2021.
So does it surprise you the prices have increased in the last few months?
No, sir. In fact, prices should and have normally within our current economic state, construction prices were up 40% over the last year. So as we got into the project bids, and I started doing evaluations from all of the bidders and started asking for, where's your best place for us to look at doing some economy that did not affect the quality of this project? And so as we started looking into it, we found that there was potentially about a $400,000 savings in the project. And that was really kind of full gambit from some, especially the middle bidders. All were very cooperative in letting us bounce ideas off of our cost savings to basically value engineer the building and the product. So that we have today, we're looking at roughly about 1.55 million is the estimated cost. Based upon the original bid, it's about a 22% increase. So we're well below what current market value is as far as the cost increases that we're seeing across the board. My recommendation is that we go with Kimball Casper. That was the price that we were given by them after looking at all of our areas that we could reduce costs without reducing anything visually, structurally, aesthetically, or that would deter the product from being anything different than what was designed. And their price as of today is about 1.55 million. Still in the process of looking at potentially another $50,000 to $60,000 in cost savings. So we're continuing to work on that process of looking at where we can also reduce funds from the project. My recommendation is that we go with Kimball Casper. I believe that they will offer you the best product for the best value and in the best time frame.
Questions? On the scoring.
Yes, sir.
Kim Casper scored 89. They scored the highest. The next one too, they scored 78.
Yes, sir.
So there's quite a bit of difference when you ran the different criteria.
Yes, sir, and you know, the county has had past experience with both of these contractors as far as number one and number two, their rankings. I found some inconsistencies in the bid from contractor number one that's currently doing a project for us. I just felt like being above board and telling us that a project is priced exactly as it's drawn is a part of integrity. And I heard my 2.5 weeks of digging into this, found out that we were not necessarily getting what was designed. Where I can guarantee you, bidders 2 through 5 bid the project as designed. So part of the scoring process took that into account and also took into account, you know, the quality of work that has been done at this county from these prior contractors. Hence the scoring, since I have personal experience with both contractors.
So you said Kimball Casper is approximately 1.55?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me, how did we get from 1.9 to 1.55?
So we have, we specifically looked at demolition issues. There were some things that were discussed at the pre-bid, the contractors over next door, that I think a lot of the demolition people missed with regard to the ability to take the refuse and use an area in the county landfill area that's just, you know, a couple miles away. So we were able to reduce costs about $30,000 there. Down through changing from metal stud construction to wood stud construction. No difference in code requirements. was about an $80,000 savings there. The glass and glazing systems on the building, we changed to look at a different type of framing system. It saved nearly $350,000. That was the big ticket item. But down to hardware, there was a huge gamut of elements, but and in fact, a couple of the contractors actually got better bids from subcontractors after the bid. And so we kind of took all that into account as well. One of the things that Kendall Casper did not use an electrical bid from a contractor out of Marble Falls, just because they didn't have any past experience with that contractor. That was nearly a $85,000 savings in cost, just on the electrical. So all of that took into account the price.
If the court votes to move forward, what if the prices for hardware and other things keep going down?
We'll get the credit.
You do?
Yes.
So I guess my confusion is that our bid tabulation doesn't show what you tell
The bid tabulation as far as the pricing?
Right.
Well, you scored these bidders based on their original submission.
Correct.
You then went back and looked for savings.
Correct.
With all of them.
With all of them, yes, sir.
Did I understand you to say that, with the one bidder, you couldn't really find any savings if they didn't bid it the way it was supposed to be bid in the first place?
Correct.
And the others, you went back and went through those, that list, you were just talking about the things that you could make savings on?
Yes, sir. So
But that's not reflected on that.
that's not correct. This is basically an original application of bid day results and over a 2.5 week period developing a scoring. At that time, I took the initiative to look at where we need to cut costs. How can we develop savings in this project? And so I developed an initial list that you see there, I believe, of items or areas of construction, and presented that to all the bidders and asked, how do we develop cost savings without losing our quality or time frame or losing the ability to secure any specific material or product, as some are becoming a little bit more longer lead time. And so that was the initial list. I started getting prices back on those cost reductions, and that is a spreadsheet that shows where some of our savings are. And again, that's preliminary because it's ongoing. And with all the bidders, one of the things that was specifically communicated is that we're trying to get to a specific price, but we still want to look at ongoing cost savings. So anything that could be looked at, substituted as an equal that may be of less value, that we will look at it, the county would approve it, and the county would also reap the benefit of those savings.
At 1.55 million, it appears that, you've actually managed to bring it into a number that earlier we talked about, I think it's about a 40% increase in cost in the last 15 months.
Yes.
It appears that you brought it in for less than that, 30, maybe 37, 35%.
It's getting a little bit more palatable, and that's why, what we would like to recommend is that we select a contractor so that we can continue to further develop cost savings. And I will say, even as of this morning, as of 6:30, I had an email $800 if we just change the exterior sheathing to a different manufacturer. So it's those little things. They may appear to be small value, but they add up.
There's a few things, or at least one that I would not be willing to take the savings, and that's the difference between the wood side and the aluminum side. It's the maintenance, long-term maintenance, it's the upper floor, second floor exterior. There's some things there where we need to kind of stick with what we got. But because of the maintenance side, we want to the Cypress side versus the aluminum side. And there's a difference in the cost, but there's a long-term difference in that.
And some of those are still, available to start looking at and discussing. There are some things that could save us some money, but it would also look at the long-term value of how you're gonna have to maintain them and the expenses of maintaining certain products versus ones that are basically finished and they're there for 50 years. So, but those are the elements that we want, the county to just make a decision on. And we will help and assist and provide an education as we can. I really feel that works hand in hand with the contractor that knows availability, knows products, and can offer and render opinions as well.
Yes.
So can you tell me one more time what Kendall Casper's lowest bid is?
Currently, we're at about 1.55.
Would that be the number you could use in a motion?
Yes. Not to exceed.
Do what?
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed the 1.5 I'd like to make a motion to accept the Kendall Casper bid not to exceed 1.55 million for the project at the old jail and the new building site.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Brammer, discussion. Okay, there probably ought to be some discussion, but I think I don't have any problem that we can accomplish this even with the increase, because there's some budget flexibility that we actually took into account for this purpose. So we can have that discussion later on in the morning, and I don't think it's gonna be a problem with this motion. Anyone else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We put this on the agenda first so that Michelle says could get to the airport in San Antonio. That takes us to item 7, which is a potential reappointment for the county judge to the General Assembly of CATCOM.
I make a motion to reappoint Judge Gray as CATCOM representative in 2023 General Counsel CATCOM.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Eager, seconds. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Good, abstain. And that takes us to item 8.
I make a motion to reappoint Judge Gray as the Blanket County representative on the 2023 Executive Committee at CATCOM.
Second.
Mr. Eager, seconds. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Abstaining again. Item 9, officers for the Historical Commission. This one, Ms. Howard has come to us and said that she needs to step back a little bit and not be chair. At the same time, Ms. Hess, Janelle Hosky, Janelle has come to us and said she would take on the burden for now. And Ms. Howard would like to remain as a vice chair, because there's two vice chairs in the north and the south. And so the proposal that I hope I can get a motion on, if I do this, but the proposal is basically to flip the two, Ms. Howard becomes vice chair, South, and Ms. Hosky becomes chair of the Historical Commission, County Historical Commission.
I'd like to make a motion appointing Jonelle Moss as the new chair for the Historical Commission, and allowing Linda Howard to remain as the vice chair. Second.
Is there a second? Commissioner Hager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 10, updated interlocal agreement with Kendall County. We've got 10, 11, 12, 13 are all sheriff's department agreements or county agreements with sheriff, the county regarding basically the resolution. 10 is Kendall County. Anyone have questions or want to make a motion?
I make a motion to authorize the county judge to sign an updated interlocal agreement for prisoner housing between Blanco County and Kendall County.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Harris, discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 11,
Make a motion to authorize the county judge to sign an updated interlocal operation agreement for prisoner housing between Blanco County and San Joaquin.
is there a second?
I'll say.
Commissioner Harris, discussion.
That's effective for 10/1/2022.
Yeah, all four items are the same.
Okay.
Discussion, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 12,
I'd like to make a motion for the county judge to sign that update, interlocal agreement concerning the housing between Blanco County and Hayes County. This is the agreement will become effective 10/1/2022.
is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Bramber, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And lastly, item 13.
I move to authorize the county judge to sign the updated interlocal cooperation agreement for prisoner housing between Blanco County and Mason County.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Greer, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. That's very significant. Item 14, we need to update our medical services agreement with Southern.
I make a motion to authorize the county judge to sign, the amendment number 2 to the health service agreement between the Southern Health Partners and Blanco County for the upcoming 2022-2023 budget year.
Is there a second? Commissioner Greer, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 15, Office of Governor, Criminal Justice Department grant for precinct 1 constable equipment.
I move we approve the resolution acknowledging the approval of OGCJD grant number 44784001, precinct 1 equipment and personnel to begin on or about October 1, 2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Wilson, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 16, I was hoping that the sheriff would be here, but he's not. But the sheriff is here. And I'm not sure if there's one thing on Central Square Technology or not, but that's what we're discussing, is the EMS North Blanco County and Blanco County regarding single sewer technology.
So I make a motion to authorize the county judge to sign an agreement to grant permission to allow access and the use of software agreement and system between Blanco County and North Blanco County EMS.
Is,
Hold on, let me reword that. Between Blanco County and Blanco County EMS, both north and south. And Cisco Square Technologies LLC, pending county attorney approval.
is there a second?
That's right.
Commissioner Peters. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 17. We'd like to add another Toshiba copier scanner for the veteran service office over at CRC, standard to our existing county contract.
I move to authorize the county judge to enter into a contract with Toshiba for one copier scanner machine for the veterans service office.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Reed for discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Ralph, if you want to come up. This next item, number 18, is the lease agreement with Waste Connections, and I just thought, real briefly, we got a lot to go through. If you want to point out the plan for the future.
Yes, sir. Well, my name is Vicki Ralph, I'm with Waste Connections. For years, we've operated a transfer station just south of town. Typically, we have a 2 to 5 year lease with you. What this proposed lease is for is a long-term lease. Our goal is to increase our volumes coming through the, if it's ever been out there, you know, we measure out our loads. Before we spend all this money for this upgrade, we're looking at a long-term lease. So currently, we pay $2,200 a month. This lease proposal is a 20-year lease with 4 10-year renewal options. You know, we both agree upon that. It changes the lease, the amount from $2,200 to $4,000 a month. We've also put an escalator in there that allows for a $1 per ton. Right now, we move about 90 tons a day through there, 39 tons in the open. We're gonna put a scale house in there, move our office. We're gonna be able to carry larger amounts out of there and do away with the antiquated systems that we have right now, which is a compactor, you back it up, and we're relying on hydraulics and electrical systems and things like that. We wanna make this a true transfer station. So we'll take that compactor out of there, pour some more concrete, put more coverage out there, and then, we'll just dump it out on the slab and push it into, bigger trucks that haul it out here. So, our landfills are probably a 3-hour turnaround. What this is gonna allow is not only better operations for us, but we'll be able to take in the mom and pops that do roll off or service residential or commercial trash. We've also put something in there that will allow for, emergency situations, catastrophes, whatever. We'll provide a staging area out there. If the county needs assistance with that cleanup, then we committed to, cost plus 10% over the life of the lease. Really, for the most part, this is a much better deal for us. I'm very, very excited to be here. Additionally, we put, another increase, at the 10-year anniversary. But basically, 4,000 is the minimum. But once we start getting up to 200 and 300, 400 tons a day, then that's going to be look more like $6,000 or $7,000, for the county. But before we make this capital investment, we want to make sure that we've got a good long-term lease in place.
Those 10% increases are every 10 years, right?
Sir?
The increases are every 10 years.
Yes, sir.
And you said something that I'm afraid is going to be misinterpreted. you said it's a much better deal for you, for y'all.
No, I meant upgrading the whole facility. Because for us, if we have a piece of equipment that goes down, then our trucks have to go, direct it to whatever. No, don't misinterpret that. I think that for the county and us, our success is tied together over the next 6 years.
And a couple of things just for the commissioner's benefit is we've defined the lines of what it is you're leasing a little clearer.
Right, and I mean, Exhibit A, kind of shows what, kind of did a little bit of a blow up. So it brings it up around here, which is pretty much what our footprint looks like right now.
And you know, when we started this discussion, I was saying some of the cans get drifted further out.
Sure, and that's easy enough for us to pull that back in. I mean, we'll have a scale house up here, we'll have a one-way road, we'll have, we'll be able to start recycling back up.
Something just for the general public, I'm sure you can point it out, it's currently the county's glass recycling code area, and you're planning on rerouting the road around that, but you have some plans for that structure so that the public is going to have a better recycle.
Right. We can open that back up and we'll open it back up, for each of Blanco County residents. And then, it'll just be sort of a single screen, opportunity. People don't want to go all the way, to the south end of the county. I know a lot of people rely on this, but right before we had the temporary shut that down, we had people from, Spring Branch or Kingsland or, Marble Falls, wherever, they were coming from all over, which I don't really understand because there's facilities closer to Hayes County, but it was highly used, but we're hoping to start construction as soon as we can kind of get this, dialed in, in 6 months. One-way traffic, we laid it out where it's going to be, completely safe. And we'll be able to move a lot more volumes, a lot more efficiently. And right now, our loads are anywhere from 10 to 15 tons, and we're going to be moving 22 tons at a time. And that's huge for us. But when I say this is great for us, that's the selfish part of me on the operational side, trying to make all this. There's a domino effect if that equipment goes down. If we can eliminate that, then we'll be a lot more efficient.
So in the part of it that you talked about, the recycle, is that just going to be for glass only?
No, it'll be for everything. Cardboard. But currently, all of our, and we've always sent everything that we brought in, whether it was curbside pickup or that got dropped off, it goes to Balcones. And for years, up until recently, and I think Mr. Ramberg could probably attest to this, we were paying $35 per ton to get rid of our recycled mix, which is more than trash. I think now we're getting $2.50 a ton, but at least it's not, paying 35. But that would be, mixed recycle. So
then another comment that you made is you said that they're capable of doing the mom and pops, they'll be able to dump off.
Yeah, and we can do that now, but it's really not cost effective when you're paying per cubic yard. We can scale it, that's more efficient.
And we're not gonna have debris blowing for them on the neighbor's property or anything like that.
No, so when we do this, we're gonna put, the higher fences with the screens on it. This has been a particularly difficult year, with the winds, but then also as I talked to Judge Ray recently, we've got a hog farmer, so we're going to be doing some hog trapping soon. But I've been out there 11 years and I haven't seen that. It's fabulous, so it makes it a little bit harder to keep up with them. Those boxes have a tarp on the backside, and when they get in there and pull those tarps off of there and dig that out, then it allows that compacted trash just to kind of push out. So it's quite a challenge keeping up with them, but we kind of got to find a way to remedy that. So we might be having a cook-off soon.
But the recyclables will be free for county residents.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and when we get to this point, then we're gonna advertise, on all levels and try and get the word out as much as we can, what services are available.
Ms. Ashby has, worked, pretty diligently on this with some others here. So the contract's been discussed and reviewed, and we kept in all of the dates that Mr. Greenberg's supplied of the trash offs and things. So, with the increases, I think we did the best we could.
The charge on the tonnage, is that over and above, the lease or?
The 4,000 is the floor, and after they reach a certain tonnage, then then we'll have the increase.
Okay.
And did I say this wrong? You're almost at that tonnage now?
No, we're about 90 tons a day right now, but we're kind of capped, we're limited, this will open that up for us.
The improvements
Yes,
help increase the tonnage.
yes, we'll be able to move a lot more tons, as well as, other trash providers, again, like mom and pop lofts, things like that. For them not to have to do a 3-hour turnaround, to a landfill is huge. So we can negotiate with them to where it makes sense for them and bring that volume to our transfer station.
So those reports will be submitted monthly to the county judge's office along with payment or how?
Yeah, we enter all of our, because we have to reconcile and disclose it obviously, so we enter all that in, so we'll provide that report that shows our tonnage that comes through from the previous month, and then we can make that adjustment, on that payment.
I think that's contained in the lease.
So we'll provide them regardless of whether we get a change or an increase, and then you'll be able to see that escalation in volume.
What would be the plan of when you start increasing your loads, as TxDOT well knows, increased damages to the road entering into that? Is that part of the lease? Who's gonna maintain the road?
Actually, what the lease says now, may have said it before, I cannot remember, for your benefit, for your interest, is that the county will maintain the road from the highway to the leased premises and not beyond. So it stops down there, kind of near the shooting range.
And be like the east side of the shooting.
And that would be county obligation, and the rest of not.
And that's gonna be increased too?
Yes, it is.
And really, up till now, we've gotten some help in there, but for the most part, if there was a pothole or something that's dangerous in the county, the guys can do this, take care of it. But most of the stuff inside of here, we have these weird sinkholes, I don't know what I'm around those, but, I fill it up pretty regularly. I'm hoping we'll get bottom at some point, but, we're not gonna call you guys every time we need something on that, we're gonna work together like we have in the past.
Is there any dust control requirements?
Sir?
Is there any dust control requirements on it, as far as like watering and everything?
Not really. We've swept before when it was, when it gets high, because there were some years where it was so windy that it almost looks like there's a fire. But hopefully with the concrete and more asphalt, then that's either it's gonna be less. We have TCP requirements, because obviously I'm a licensed operator. We have a lot of requirements as far as, pest control, nuisance, blowing debris, whatever, and we do everything we can to those guidelines and some things over and above.
Since we're kind laboring on this a little bit. I guess I'll stretch it out even further. Your company, your current company is pretty good size. They have facilities all over.
Yes, yes.
I just thought it was interesting. You can confirm this. You even have a landfill or two around other places.
We do, we have, we just opened one in Seguin, so.
But the reason where I'm going with this is the fascinating part is you actually have one where you capture the methane
Yes,
that comes out of the landfill and for recycling,
yes.
kind of a recycling. Pretty. Not going back, interesting.
That's primarily, Mr. Greenberg and I, we have talked about that, that's primarily the same thing as we talked about that day. Almost word for word.
I think it's a good contract. And longevity, understand, you're gonna put a lot of investment there, so you want to make sure you're there long enough to get a return on your investment. So,
Yes, sir. And you know, this, I've wanted this for so long, so it just really makes sense as far as our upgrade.
You know, that's a long term to try to look out, so there's some escalation, and then of course the payment by radius has some big upside potential. But always kind of have to balance it a little bit with, it's the only one in the county, and it provides pretty good service, so it seems like even less than what we might be able to squeeze out of it would be of value.
there's always a need for people, legal place to dispose of bulky items, construction debris. This is not open door to provide that service.
I like the word, you said legal, because if you and other commissioners have everything from transformers to other stuff, don't
Those.
Well, do you like it enough to make motion?
Well, I have to personally abstain because I do have some financial interests with waste collection, so I will have to abstain from voting on this motion, but,
I'll make a motion.
it's a good contract.
I'll make a motion to authorize the county judge to sign the amended and restated lease agreement between Blanford County and Waste Connections Lone Star Inc.
Is there a second? I'll second. Mr. Reader, discussion.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Sorry.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 19A.
Just to clarify, what's the one thing?
And one thing is. All right, item 19, construction bond.
So Round Mountain Reserve, their construction bond expires September 19th. They've completed all the roads and drainage, signage and street, improvements. So however, they have not, with the drought that has been in place, they've not been able to complete their grass in the medians to keep the soil erosion to a minimum. So I'm gonna want to make a motion to release the construction bond and allow them to move to a maintenance bond and add $30,000 in their maintenance bond for the vegetation improvements when everything has been filed.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Weir, discussion. Sounds like a good way to protect the public and keep moving forward. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 20. Registered Megan, and I, Mr. Oakley, worked to help Mr. Leisman to make that presentation. It was successful, and I was still unsure, but it appears that, like the county is going to approve. I'll let you say.
So yes, so during our Homeland Security Task Force meeting, the Homeland Security Task Force voted on awarding recommendation to Williamson County to transfer the command vehicle CD3 to Blanco County and keep it as a regional asset. So I'd like to make a motion to approve for the county judge to sign all the documents required for the transfer of the title of the Williamson County command vehicle to Blanco County and a MOU between Williamson County and Blanco County for the transfer of equipment purchased with the Office of the Governor grant funds, including the command vehicle, which is CD3.
Is there a second?
I'll say
Mr. Eager, discussion.
Please keep in mind this will be a regional asset, which means anybody within the CAPCOG region, any 10 counties, they can call at any point in time and ask for it, and we're gonna take it to them.
True, but truth is, it's probably more likely in Western County.
More than likely going to be a Western County. Burnet County has a command trailer that they use, which we utilize at the fair every year, and we utilize in a lot of fires. Hayes County technically has 2 of these, so this would give us something. Llano County does not have any.
So we've got it, we'll talk about that in a little bit too. We've got a budget item for this as well. But I just want to take a moment and invite the other commissioners as well to thank you for working so hard for this. I completely reject the characterizing a toy. This is without a doubt a valuable tool for our county and surrounding counties and the safety of citizens. So I don't think you're going to get enough credit for bringing this to Blanco County.
It's kind of cool. There's lots of infrastructure inside of this.
Will they, even help it with?
No, this is solely Blanco County's responsibility for maintenance.
If I gave you a motor home for you to have, but require you to do maintenance, would that be a?
I'm not complaining at all. If they did, I'd take it, yeah. No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. Item 21. Emergency management plan.
So this plan, Mr. Magna wanted to revise annually. So he just made a couple of additions on page 4, verifying some city designations for the authority of the county emergency management coordinator. So anyway, with that being said, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the 22-23 Blanco County Emergency Management Plan as amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 22, camera system for the recycling center.
We have upgraded the old system that was put in several years ago to a newer, more efficient system that specs and pack here what is going to be installed. So I specs for the purchase of an upgraded camera system at the recycling.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Weir, discussion. So that camera system, that's the same one that you use with an app on your phone?
Yes.
And you can get up in the middle of the night and see the problem
Yes.
and go in there
Yes.
and fix it.
There is that problem, yes. Luckily, we haven't had it, but what it is mainly for you, which we have used in the past.
So you never have to go down there before 8 or after 5?
Well, also what it does is keep tabs on the level of maintenance that needs to be performed on weekends.
And you never go on weekends, right?
Well, there's limited times in that it's kind of out of hand, it needs attention. So it's a very handy tool, and it's for our part-time employees so that they can monitor the condition, and rather than be there waiting, they can wait until it needs attention and they can go down and take care of it.
And you know, we pay them when they're, yeah.
Right. Being there waiting for somebody, they wait till it fills up and they service and their time. But for security, it's been real helpful. We've had situations where there can be dumping the camera, the way we would normally handle it, we would identify a person. It's in the city, we just have a conversation with the chief, and then we generally have a conversation, and they agree that they'll come back, take care of it. So get it handled without a lot of additional, dealing with JP or the judge or anybody else, and manage to come back.
Motion's been made and seconded, further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And then we have the continuing education for Commissioner Greenberg.
Make a motion to acknowledge the continuing education for Commissioner Greenberg.
Is there a second?
That's it.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 24 will be the first record vote. And is to consider setting base salaries for elected officials. As you can see, and this is based on the 15%. So this 65% does not include the 1%?
That's correct.
Okay, so this is the base salary. If when somebody comes in and takes Commissioner Granberg's place on the board next year, that's the base salary for that commission.
I believe we consider setting the base salary for elected officials for FY 2022-23, as listed here.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Weir, discussion. I will say, and this will be true for the next several items, I will say that while I had choked up a little bit last month when you all were going down this road, as I talked with surrounding counties and others, evidently you all were not really off in these increases. Other counties are doing sizable things, so it was hard for me to get my arms around, but I think you went the right way, and I think the elected officials will appreciate your concern. So that said, if you'll call the roll.
Judge Wright?
Yes.
Commissioner Weir?
Yes.
Commissioner Eager?
Yes.
Commissioner Leeson?
Yes.
Commissioner Greenberg?
Yes.
All right. That passed unanimously. That will take us on to item 25, which are base salaries for others, non-elected officials.
I make a motion to approve the setting the base salaries for FY 2022-2023 for non-elected officials as presented.
Is there a second?
No, second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. This also is a record note. We can call the roll.
Judge Wright?
Yes.
Commissioner Weir?
Yes.
Commissioner Eager?
Yes.
Commissioner Leeson?
Yes.
Commissioner Greenberg?
Yes.
All right. Before we move to 26, I just briefly wanted to, it's not on the agenda, but it's also not an action item. Wanted to advise you that that Commissioner Weir, Ms. Swift and I worked toward and hired a Veterans Services Officer who has come on board. Her name is Wendy Strunk. She's present today and don't leave today before afterwards, because I need to connect you with someone who's very involved in veteran services.
Okay.
Ms. Strunk, is a veteran and, has a passion for this kind of work, and we have asked her to start something from the ground up. She didn't even have a staple, and, much less things like a computer. And so we're getting her started, and she's been in training. She's been rapidly completing the training courses that's required of the Health and Human Services Commission, Veterans Commission.
Texas Veterans Commission.
So, anyway, if you haven't yet met her, you're going to do that. Okay, that takes us back to item 26, the ongoing discussion of budget items, and Ms. Harrison has helped to lay out changes that have been made. So we put in a number for the injured defense grant on the revenue side. We set a base salary for secretary, we put in $25,000 for command vehicle expenses, hoping that that's an overestimate. That I think the largest number that I remember seeing out of Ramsey County in a bad year was 21 or 2,000. And so hopefully it'll be less than that. But we've got some couple things we want to tweak here. So we added that there. The big number, let's see, furniture, fixture, buildings, even though that number's increased, the budget's not increased because we took it from a motor oil payment that isn't necessary due to grant funding. So that money is all placed in that line item, 10,500, 520, with the idea of being able to get us started on a couple of, probably in 2023. That was the plan for that money. Glass transport, Commissioner Brandberg says it's costing more to do something with the crushed glass, right?
Yes.
So we increased it to 9,600. And then as you can see, the very next line is where we completed the Motorola upgrade. The Motorola upgrade occurred, it just didn't cost, we didn't have to pay for it under that line. The refinancing package was recalculated. The maintenance supervisor was created.
I'm sorry, that one, increase the salary to 50.
Thank you. I am asking the commissioners, and this may be a point of discussion, it is thus far been budgeted, I believe, 47, and we're asking for 50. And we have a candidate that Ms. Swift and I have interviewed who I think will be ready at 50 if the commissioner were so inclined.
Do you want that as a motion, or do you want to just include it in?
Include it in the budget, if you're agreeable to it. And then there's the two independent school district, school resource officer payments that I have asked about and you want to do last time. And you'll see on the CARES Act fund that's the grant money that we spent the first time around back in November. That goes back into that fund. Those are unrestricted funds. And that money added to the money that's in there now will get us very, very close to funding the old jail project. Without any additional financing or raising the revenues. All right, so we have a new page for the 2022 certificate of obligation fund. We have we've added some expenses in district court technology. Basically, district court technology has a few thousand in it. There's some things that are coming up and being seems to be continual needs over there. You know, that courtroom is fairly electronic, and so we just basically made the expenses equal to the balance, the budget balance, to give us the room to add new things if they need it. So those are the changes we've done. And please open for your discussion. I think, I'll hold one more comment for an item.
So, as mentioned earlier, Chris Leeston will be making a motion for changing the judge's salary. However, it was already done in item number 24, technically. We did all of the officials. So, all of the officials should be made at that time.
Did you make that motion?
I believe so.
So you're calling
Either way, I got you. Well, you did that, put that number on.
I'm sorry.
But the judge salary, but everyone else, all the other elected officials is.
Yes, and he will get the.
Right.
As well, yes, sir.
Okay, so, you don't really need to make that motion here because it was made earlier.
Right.
So, do we need any other action on item 26, because item 27 is, proposed adoption of the budget? If we don't, I'm ready to move to item 27. Once, twice, okay. So item 27, which will be another record vote. Which will be another record vote. Is the proposed adoption of the budget. Does anybody have any things to say?
I believe we consider adoption of the Blanford County budget for FY 22-23.
Is there a second?
May I interject? Can you add with the changes discussed?
With the changes discussed. I'll second that.
Commissioner Weir seconds, discussion.
Judge Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Weir,
Yes.
Commissioner Eager,
Yes.
Commissioner Leeston,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham.
Yes.
That takes us to item 28, which is adoption of the tax rate. And there's two things I'd like to say about this. The first is, if you look at this tax rate, it is, just in a raw number, it's the lowest since 2009. And you all, a couple of you will recall that in 2009, about the time we all started undertaking two major construction projects. So of course the rate went up in 2010, as you had to pay for those things, the jail and the annex and all. But the other thing I would point out to you is that before that, if you don't count 2009, this rate is the lowest rate since the mid-80s. Just a pure rate. The other thing I'd just like to mention is this is the calculation sheets described there. The average homestead taxable value in Blanco County last year, or actually as of today, this tax year, is $267,667. The average moves, that would be 2021, I guess, tax year. In 2022, it moves to $303,376. Now, I'm sure several people live in bigger homes than $303,776, but that's the average. And what I find interesting is under our existing tax rate, we've been operating under on that $267,000 homestead. The county taxes were $1,044, but under what is proposed, with this new rate that you're about to review discussed, the tax would be $1,036.64. In other words, it would be $7.36 less. So even though valuations are going up considerably, and even though that will not be true of some of the bigger, more expensive properties, at that end of the spectrum, where the average homestead is, with this rate that's being proposed, you're actually potentially cutting some of this tax. Not much.
At the county level.
At the county level, that's real important. The newspaper better say everybody's taxes are good. You know they say it. So, with that, we're looking at item 28.
Do we need to do this in two separate record votes?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I make a motion to set the maintenance and operation tax rate at 28.35 cents per $100 valuation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. It's a record vote.
Judge Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Weir,
Yes.
Commissioner Eager,
Yes.
Commissioner Easton,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham.
Yes.
And then that takes us to B.
And I'll make a motion to set the debt services INS rate at 5.821 cents per $100 valuation.
Is there a second? Commissioner Weir, discussion. All very,
Judge Gray,
yes.
Commissioner Weir,
Yes.
Commissioner Eager,
Yes.
Commissioner Easton,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham.
Yes.
And then, item 29 is a ratification of the tax increase.
I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 1.3471 cents for $100, which is effectively 15.62% increase in the tax.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. And,
Judge Gray,
yes.
Commissioner Weir,
Yes.
Commissioner Eager,
Yes.
Commissioner Easton,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham.
Yes.
Item 30 involves the homestead exemption.
I make a motion to set the homestead exemption at 1% of the appraised value with a minimum exemption of $5,000.
Is there a second? Second. Mr. Kramer, discussion. Record vote.
Judge Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Weir,
Yes.
Commissioner Eager,
Yes.
Commissioner Easton,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham.
Yes.
On that item, despite the fact that some people want to claim credit, Ms. Fry and I have been discussing the homestead exemption for months, and never quite got to where we need to get before the deadline. Would the commissioners be interested in looking at an increase in homestead exemption next year? Continues its trends. I think that takes us to item 31. It's basically just acknowledging that we're the district court setting compensation for court orders.
I move to acknowledge the administrative order setting compensation and expenses for court reporters for FY 22-23.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eastman, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 32.
I make a motion to acknowledge the administrative order setting compensation expenses for Blackwood County Auditor and Assistants in the FY 2022-2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Greenberg, discussion. I'm hoping that it didn't hurt you when the commissioners moved to the increases for the county employees. I informed the district court that they made it clear that we understand it's just a placeholder, they can do whatever they want, and then the next thing I know, there's an order that uses that number. I'm hoping it helped you that they maybe it's better than officers did in other parts of the district, but at any rate. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 33, acknowledge the order that thank God, reappoints Ms. Loomis as our county auditor.
I move that the Housing Administrative Board reappointed Shelley Loomis as county auditor of Blanford County for a term of 2 years effective October 1, 2022.
Is there a second? No, second. Commissioner Eager, discussion. I can't help but say how blessed we are to have you, so. Even the strict. She had a Shakespeare writer.
Except, no.
Anyone else? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Resolution, we already have this budgeted, it's already been requested, the Meals on Wheels folks need an additional item to resolution for their community service.
So I make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the county grant of $6,000 to Meals on Wheels program for Blanford County FY 2022-2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Bramber, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 35, day of the week, Commissioners Court convening the regular time. Traditionally, it's been the first Tuesday of the month.
Second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday of the month, and which is the first meeting, and second meeting, usually called a special meeting before the Tuesday of the month. This statute item here, we're thinking because there's a couple of landmines in the statutes that say regular meeting versus other kind of meetings. Maybe we ought to call both of those Tuesdays regular meeting. I don't think that would be very nice for them. You know, at Christmas time, sometimes we skip the fourth Tuesday meeting. But it would possibly save us from stepping up.
So I make a motion to approve the last speak. Do you want to speak on this last speak?
So I was explaining to them that we've seen a landmark or two in times past with that regular meeting nomenclature.
Yes.
And we were thinking that it would be beneficial if we make both the second and fourth Tuesdays regular meetings, and that still wouldn't prevent us from canceling a meeting like around the Christmas holidays if we wanted to.
That is correct.
And
That's, from our reading in the statute, there's been, especially around budget time and certain other statutorily required commissioners' courts approval, that when we have a special meeting, you cannot vote on certain items. So if we change it to a regular meeting, then you can vote on it. That doesn't mean it can't ever be canceled around the holidays.
Okay. So I make a motion to set the regular Commissioners Court meetings on the second and the fourth Tuesday of each month.
Commissioner Brewer seconds. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Burn ban. You authorized me to lift the burn ban if conditions improve. And I think last week we had a lot of rain in Wednesday, Thursday time frame. I had 3 fire chiefs, which are all the fire chiefs, tell me that they were in favor of lifting the burn ban. And of course, as you know it better than I do, because you hear it more than I do. Everybody just had to burn, it was imperative, right? So I lifted the burn ban and probably regretted it because on Saturday, I think it was Saturday, there were at least 7 different calls throughout the county for mostly, I'm using air quotes, control charges that got out of control. And we haven't had any moisture since, and the forecast I was looking at doesn't seem to show the prospects for any time real soon. So, I'm just letting you know that even though everybody seems to be in agreement and hindsight's 2020, I regret having lived in the burn ban when I did. I'm not saying you should put one back on today, and just tell me what I think. And you can see the maps today that put us in the 100 to 500 range, I guess. No, pardon, the 500 to
5 to 6.
Yeah. That map kind of seems to say that the southern end of the county is more at risk. I don't know if that's true or not. Because it has drier counties.
It was a good solution. It's a quick shot.
But then, have to, fire chief on the current.
No, I haven't, but I was going to say, I'd like, make a motion to, put the burn down until the 27th of September at 12 noon. With the judges, if we do get a bunch of rain, the judge has to go right.
Is there a second?
I tried.
Let's do an alternative motion